All right, welcome back to the Be a GM mode. Here's the second round of the playoffs. This is what it looks like. We were able to beat the Pittsburgh Penguins last round. If you haven't seen that, go check that now because I don't know why you're here and otherwise because are you going to know what happened? Anyways, this round we are going to be going up against the Carolina Hurricanes. We're going to take a look at their roster, see what they're running with their lines and such, and see how they're working things there in Carolina. See if we have the ability to if we have the better team on paper. So let's go ahead and look at that. So let's go ahead and find Carolina. There you are right there. So their first line of Jeff Skinner, Eric Staal, and Semin is a very powerful first line, and their second line of Matt Wilson, Jordan Staal, and Timo Ruutu is also a very powerful second line. I'd say that they're a little bit better than us on the second, but around first line, it pretty much matches itself out. Third line and fourth line, very weak in Yuri Tillotsi being their only good player on the third line, and still a very good player in himself, but Nathan Gerbe and Richard Dorvac, I believe is what his first name is, very lacking on the wings, and Boychuk, Manny Malhotra, and Patrick Dewar also very lacking on the fourth line in general, but it looks to be more of a gritty line, so that's why that's out there. Defensively, I honestly would say that we have them beat all around. The first two lines of the defensive core is very good, but the third with Komisarek and Falk is a little bit lacking. Pickenen and Hainsley, along with Sekera and Gleason, is a very good core to have. And goaltending, they do have Cam Ward and Andre Khudobin, so if we can get Cam Ward out of the net, we should have a very easy time goaltending elite, but they should have the advantage in the nets. But with us, Eriksson, Giroux, and Skorchek is a very solid first line, along with Matt Reed, Vincent Lecavalier, and Wayne Simmons being a very solid second line. And even our third line with Sean Couturier, Braden Shen, and Steve Downey being a very, very solid third line. Our fourth line, the only one being a little bit questionable with Zach Rinaldo, Chris Newberry, and Eric Wellwood. But still, and that fourth line of more gritty, grindy players is still not a very bad line. Defensively, we do look really good with Chris Phillips and Braden Coburn, Brooks Orpik and Kimmo Timonen being the main core, and then OEL and Luke Shen rounding it out for us in our rookie defensive pairing. But Steve Mason and Ray Emery in the net is where we do lack. I'm going to take the time. I don't know why I said that twice. I'm going to take the time, though, to save right now so that we don't lose this like what happened the last time, and I'm going to do this in between everything. So we're going to sim up to the first game, and hopefully we can get the Carolina Hurricanes done in 4 or 5 games, but that's being optimistic. So I'll save this right now, and we'll get right back into this. All right, so getting into the first game, here we go, against Carolina. We're at home. Let's see what we can get done in the first period. So first period, Timo Ruutu is going to get himself on the goal, being the first goal scored in the series for the Carolina Hurricanes. And so now we're down 1-0, even though we outshot them by quite a bit. In the second period, they're going to get 2. Couturier is going to tie it up, and then Matt Moulson and Jeff Skinner are both going to get themselves 1 apiece. And going into the third period, we're now down by 2 goals, and we need some offensive spark. And Nathan Gerbe is pretty much going to go ahead and put the dagger in the game himself. But Louis Eriksson is going to climb back, get a goal himself. Could get another 2 goals here in the third period and make a monumentous comeback, but it is very far, and it does look like we outshot them quite a bit and still could not manage to find Cam Ward to solve his puzzle. So now we're going to go ahead and look, and Timo Ruutu gets his first from Yuri Tillotsi and Gerbe, and then Couturier is picking up his second from Lecavalier and Timonen. Matt Moulson gets his third of the playoffs from Timo Ruutu and Pickenen, and then Skinner gets his third from Staal. Gerbe gets his first from Gleason and Dorvac, and Eriksson picks up his first from Timonen and Giroux. So Giroux, a player that I led the NHL in scoring and points, hasn't really done much other than pass the puck in the playoffs, or something that I don't really like to see that much. But it is what's happening. So we're going to go ahead and sim up to the next game. Hopefully we can get a win here and tie the series up at 1-1. Cam Ward should be back in net again for this one. So at home, in front of our home fans, hopefully we can get a win here. Hopefully we can get the first goal, and we do. Vincent Lecavalier steps up and gets a clapper on Cam Ward to take the early lead in the first period, 1-0. Going into the second period, Jakub Skorchek gets one on Cam Ward, and we're up 2-0 going into the third. There's still another 20 minutes to play, and Lecavalier is going to put the third one on the board, making him the player for the team. Semon's going to come back and put one on Mason, though, and then you go, Braden Shen's going to put another one past Cam Ward, and it looks like we were able to solve the puzzle in this game. We were able to find the back of the net 4 times. Lecavalier finding it at the back of the net twice for himself. He's going to continue himself forward as being the leading scorer as the team and being one worthy of the captaincy. So Lecavalier picks up his 6th of the postseason, one from Matt Reed and Wayne Simmons, and Skorchek picks up his 5th from Giroux and Louis Eriksson. Lecavalier gets his 7th from Matt Reed and Brooks Orpik. Simon gets his 3rd from Skinner and Staal, and then Braden Shen gets his 2nd from Sean Couturier and Brooks Orpik to give us the 4-1 lead in the second game of the series. So now we're going to push ourselves forward. We're going to go to North Carolina. We're going to head off to Riley, a team that I have previous experience being the GM of back in NHL 13 that didn't go over too well, didn't really last that long. Made a couple big moves to get a couple players in, but nonetheless, I GM'd also Carolina, so they do have a good organization being set forth right there. So yeah, so let's see as we continue on, let's see how things go in the third game. Let's get ourselves situated here in Riley, North Carolina, and let's see what takes off after the first period. Matt Moulson and Jordan Stahl are going to get themselves on the board to take the early 2-0 lead, and then Claude Giroux is going to get one on Cam Ward, but not after Matt Moulson gets the third goal of the game for the Carolina Hurricanes on Steve Mason. Power play for us, we can't get anything there. Power play for the looks like a 5-minute. Louis Eriksson picks up a shorty, and we're down by one. One goal. Somebody needs to step up and get it. There you go. There's power play. Kill it off. Come on, get a goal. Get a goal. There you go. Claude Giroux ties it up in the dying seconds of the game. We're headed to overtime. What's going to happen here? We're getting peppered with shots. We're getting peppered, and then, holy crap. And then Braden Shen, after all of those shots in a row, Braden Shen's going to put one past Cam Ward in overtime to give us the win, and we're going to progress on with the 2-1 series win. After that, that was ridiculous. So Jordan Stahl gets his third from Tiomo Ruutu and Pikkinen, and Matt Moulson's going to pick up his fourth from Falk. So a third period comeback by your Philadelphia Flyers gets 4 unanswered goals after the Carolina Hurricanes net 3 unanswered. Matt Moulson picks up his 5th of the postseason from Ron Hainsley and Yuri Toulouse. Claude Giroux gets his 2nd from Skorchek and Eriksson. Louis Eriksson picks up his 3rd from Couturier, and then Claude Giroux gets his 3rd from Braden Shen. And then Shen hits his 3rd from Chris Phillips and Scott Downey to give us the 2-1 series lead and make a third period comeback to come back and win that game there in Raleigh, North Carolina. This team does not want to be done right now. We have a guy who scored 7 goals for us, and we're just destroying. So going into the 4th game now, we have the series lead here. Let's see what happens in the first period. So it's going to be 2-2. So Shen and the man himself, Vinny Lecavalier, gets a deflection on Cam Ward, but then Semin and Skinner are going to come back and score a pair of their own, and we're tied up at 2-2. Going into the third, we're going to trade again. So Simmons gets himself on the boards, and then Hainsley's going to score one on Steve Mason. I accidentally hit the A button there, so I'm sorry about that. But now we're going to head into the 6-time stimulation, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson gets one on Cam Ward to give us the early lead. Power play right there. Seeing a lot of stuff going on here, and who scored there? Kimmo Timonen gets a goal there as I'm accidentally fumbling around with my controller, giving us the 5-3 lead in the third game here of the season. Eric Stahl nets one with 6 minutes left. They put themselves within a goal. Should be the empty net goal coming up here, and there it is. Brooke Orpik next an empty netter for us as we take the 6-4 win over the Carolina Hurricanes, giving us the 3-1 series win here. And Braden Shen gets his 4th of the postseason. Lecavalier picks up his 8th of the postseason from Matt Reed and Braden Coburn. Alexander Semin gets his 4th from Eric Stahl and Jeff Skinner, and then Jeff Skinner gets his 4th from Semin and Falk. Wayne Simmons picks up his first goal of the postseason from Luke Shen and Vincent Lecavalier, and then Hainsley gets his 2nd from Pikkinen and Gerby. OEL gets his 1st from Eriksson and Giroux. Timonen gets his 1st from Eriksson and OEL, and then Eric Stahl is going to get his 4th from Falk and Hainsley, and Orpik gets his first one, which was the empty net from Voracek and Giroux. So putting up crazy numbers for the team. We're now going back to Carolina with the last game here, potentially. The back's against the wall. We can afford to lose a game as there's still 3 games left, and we have the 3-1 series lead going in right now, so we can't afford to lose this game, but I really don't want to. I just want to put the dagger in the coffin. I want to end it right here tonight. I want to end it in front of our home fans like we did with the Pittsburgh Penguins. So let's see what happens after the first period. Lecavalier, the man himself, scores the first goal of the game and giving us the 1-0 lead after the first period. Everyone's leaving the party and joining the party and doing all kinds of stuff. Into the second period now, Semin ties it up, but now we are going into the dire minutes of the third period with the Carolina Hurricanes backs up against the wall. 3-1 series lead. We need somebody to score a goal here. Somebody to score a goal on the power play, and we can't get it, so I think we're gonna head to overtime. We're going into overtime. There's the penalty kill, and the penalty kill's done right. Somebody needs to step up and score a goal here. We're gonna look at the shots real quick. So as you can see, shots are happening. Another penalty kill. Are we going into double overtime? We're gonna go into double overtime now, and there we're continuing to go. But there it's done. There it's done. Braden Shen wasn't having enough. He was having enough, and we're gonna finish them off in double overtime in the 5th game, and that's a crazy win for us to knock Carolina out in 5 games. Lecavalier gets his 9th of the postseason from Simmons and Timonen. Semin picks up his 5th from Stahl and Moulson, and then Shen gets his 5th from Couturier and Oliver Ekman-Larsson. just playing phenomenal, and we're done after the second round. We've played 10 games, have 8 wins, and the Carolina Hurricanes have officially been eliminated from the 2014 NHL playoffs, and we're going to the Western Conference Finals. I'm not sure who we're playing against right now, and I think we're about to find out who we're going to go up against as long as we don't lose. And nope. It looks like the Oilers and Flames are going to Game 7, but we are going to be playing against the Columbus Blue Jackets in the conference finals. I'm not sure who's going to be on the other side of the tape, though. So we're going to head to the stats, and we're going to look at the team stats for the playoffs. So as you can see, there's what it looks like. I don't know why I'm actually looking at the team stats. We should look at the player stats for the playoffs. So there you are. Once this loads, we'll get into that. So in 10 games played, LeCavier has 9 goals and 3 assists for 12 points. Shen has 5 goals. Skorchek has 5 goals. Giroux's got 3, and then I'm just going to continue to let you guys read yourselves and scroll. So we only have 4 guys on our team who have not scored a goal in the playoffs, and some unlikely character. Our entire fourth line has scored a goal in the playoffs. Assist is how his looks rates now. Matt Reed and Claude Giroux are tearing it up assist-wise, along with Louis Eriksson, and so this is how the rest of the team fares out. I believe everybody has at least 1 point in the assist category, and points in 10 games, we have Claude Giroux who has over a point a game, and Vincent LeCavier who has over a point a game, and Voracek and Eriksson pretty much being a point-a-game player as well. So I'm going to let you guys go ahead and read that out to yourselves also. So as you can see, the plus-minus is going to Couturier as +9 and Ronaldo with the -2 on that. And then power play goals, we have LeCavier with 4, short-handed. Eriksson's got 1, and then that's going to go to that. We're going to look at the goaltending right now. So 1.90 goals against average for Steve Mason, going into a 93 save percentage. So that's not bad at all. So let's go ahead and see who our opponents are for the next round, which we do know are the Columbus Blue Jackets, but it looks like it's going to be Chicago against Edmonton in the Western Conference, and us against Columbus. So that's how that ended up. And Calgary and Edmonton series went 4-2 for Edmonton. So that went all the way, and Chicago swept Phoenix, along with Columbus being a 4-2 win over Ottawa, and us a 4-1 win over Carolina. So in the next video, we're going to come back, and we're going to go ahead and hopefully be able to beat the Columbus Blue Jackets and go for the Stanley Cup Final. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you guys next time.